Hello, friend. So glad you're here tonight. Get comfortable, pull the covers up, and let the day loosen its grip. There's nowhere else you need to be. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe and tap the like button on tonight's video. Both are free, they take 2 seconds, and they help this channel more than you'd think. And you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. Tonight, we are going to slow everything down and live a single ordinary day inside World War II. Not the legend, but the real day, built only from what history actually records. There is nothing to do and nothing to remember. If you drift off somewhere between morning and nightfall, that is exactly how this is meant to work. Settle in, let your breathing slow down, and let the day begin. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. It's called Dozily, and the link is in the description. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. You wake to the sound of distant artillery fire, your body already aching from last night's march. Your hands begin their morning ritual, feeling for your rifle, running fingers over the metal, checking for any dirt or grime that might have collected overnight. The routine keeps you alive. Cleaning begins with the barrel, then the grip, ensuring nothing will jam when you need to fire. It's a familiar process, one you've done hundreds of times before. But today is no different. You must keep your weapon in peak condition, for you never know what lies ahead on this battlefield. The metal is cold against your touch, a reminder that dawn hasn't yet broken. Nearby, your fellow soldiers start their own routines, the soft sounds of steel against cloth, and occasional coughs or yawns filling the air. Each motion is deliberate, ensuring nothing escapes notice. You take a rag from your pack, dampening it with morning dew that clings to the grass. The rifle's surface warms slightly under your touch as you wipe it down. The faint scent of oil lingers in the air. The rifle's weight is a familiar comfort, linking you to the world you knew before. Counting each round in the magazine with your fingers ensures none are missing or loose. The sun starts to peek over the horizon, casting long shadows that dance and flicker as you work. You wake to the distant hum of planes overhead, now all too familiar. Your hands shake as you pour coffee, the bitter aroma filling the small kitchen. News spreads quickly. Whispers of Philippe Pétain capitulating to Hitler's panzers fill the air. The weight of it hangs heavy, like thick smoke from a nearby factory. What does this mean for you? For your family? Questions swirl through your mind as you step out into the cool morning light, the day ahead, uncertain and daunting. You notice the milk is starting to curdle in the heat. The radio crackles with static before a voice speaks of rationing and resistance. Your neighbour's door creaks open, revealing her tired eyes. She nods at you, sharing the unspoken burden. Your garden wilts under the sun's relentless glare. The old clock on the mantel ticks loudly, marking each anxious moment. Fear is tangible, like grit in your tea. The once bustling market stands eerily empty, save for a few hurried figures. Wind carries the faint scent of smoke from distant fires. Your hand trembles as you reach for the faded envelope holding your ration card. Windows are taped shut against constant bombing threats. A line forms at the bakery, each person clutching their ration card like a lifeline. The once lively cafe now serves only watered-down coffee, laughter replaced by hushed whispers. Queues grow longer each day. Bread tastes of sawdust and hope runs thin. Fear is a constant companion, like faded wallpaper peeling from the walls. Your hands brush against the cold metal of your weapon, the Panzerbüchse 39 or 31 bipod leg Lafette. It's a relic from another time, but all you have for stability in this morning's duties. Air is crisp and cool as you set up, fingers working automatically to attach it. A sense of history fills the moment. as if these same hands were once used in World War II. But for now, it's just another tool. The bolt slides home with a satisfying clack. You check the magazine, ensuring it's full and ready. The scope catches morning light, reflecting a small arc of rainbow. You take a deep breath, cool air filling your lungs as you focus on the task at hand. Bipod legs click into place, securely gripping damp earth beneath. A slight mist lingers in the air, adding to the morning chill. The rifle's weight feels familiar on your shoulder. Scent of damp earth is comforting, grounding you in the present moment. Sun peeks over the horizon, casting long shadows that dance with the morning breeze. Wood of the stock feels rough against your palms. Each movement is deliberate, practiced. Wind shifts, carrying a faint scent of pine. Adjust scope's focus, bringing distant horizon into sharper view. Metal of the bipod is cold against your hands, a reminder of morning chill. Rifle balances perfectly on your shoulder, weight becoming an extension of you. Soft clicking sound comes from mechanism as you adjust scope, each movement precise and sure. You wait to the dim light of dawn, your hands already working at the task in front of you. You're folding clothes, not just any clothes, but uniforms. The wool feels coarse against your fingers, a faint smell of mothballs hanging in the air. Each one has a name stitched inside, recorded in the WW2 casualties database. How many are there? You don't know exactly, but you've seen numbers like 60 million. It's a sobering thought as you fold each one, a silent reminder of what this morning's duties really mean. Sun barely peeks over the horizon, casting long shadows across the room. Rhythm of your hands is steady, folding each uniform with care. A small box sits nearby, filled with pins and patches, awaiting their turn to be affixed. Fingers trace names inside each collar, feeling rough threads under touch. Pins are cold when you pick them up, one by one. Each uniform is laid out carefully, ready for the next pair of hands to continue the work. Fabric is stiff with age, resisting your efforts to smooth it out. Each fold takes a toll on your fingers, leaving behind small traces of lint and wool fibers. Silence in the room is profound, broken only by soft rustle of cloth and occasional ticking of an old clock on the wall. Scent of mothballs lingers on your skin long after you've finished for the day. Each fold becomes a habit, a ritual passed down from one generation to the next. You rise with first light, air already humming with the day's duties. As you dress, sun climbs higher, illuminating your hands as they button your jacket. There are rules to follow, procedures to learn. Today is one of those days when wardens gather for a training exercise. You join them, walking through quiet streets. Air smells of damp earth and distant smoke. Boots echo on cobblestones as you head towards the drill site. A whistle blows, signaling start. Listen carefully to each instruction. This is practice for what might come during an air raid. For now, it's just another morning in this world, one step at a time. Warden's voice is steady, authoritative. Drill becomes a dance of commands and responses. Heart beats steadily as you move through motions, sense of purpose growing within you. Taste acrid smoke in the air, familiar companion to these exercises. Boots find their rhythm on cobblestones, each step steady and sure. Warden's whistle cuts through morning mist, clear call to attention. Smoke from nearby factory lingers, blurring edges of drill site. Cobblestones are worn smooth by time and countless footsteps, offering little traction underfoot. Smoke stings your eyes, making them water. Wipe them clear with a grimy sleeve. Sound of distant artillery rumbles beneath your feet, echoing the orders. You wake up to smell of burnt coffee, taste still lingering in your mouth from last night's watch. Your hands, rough and calloused, reach for boots by the bed. Sledgehammer Games, they whisper, a name you haven't heard since basic training. But it's not just a name anymore. It's reality you live with every morning. Remember advanced movements they taught you, futuristic warfare technology that seemed impossible back then. Now, it's your life. Duty is clear, path ahead certain. What will today bring? Only time will tell. Barracks outside are filled with clatter of gear being ready for inspection. Stomach rumbles, last meal, a distant memory. Drill sergeant's voice echoes through halls, harsh reminder of day ahead. Floor creaks under your feet as you stand, old barracks holding history in their bones. Sun streams through small window, casting long shadows on wall, hinting at heat already brewing outside. Scent of stale sweat hangs heavy in air. Floorboards groan under weight, protesting every step taken. Morning light cuts through dust floating above, grim reminder another day has begun. Barracks are cold despite heat outside. Walls sweat with condensation, constant battle against humidity. Gear lies scattered across floor, each piece worn and faded but ready for another day. Floor is uneven, each board different colour from wear. Gears buckles clank against metal frame of cot as you pick them up, one by one. You wake to faint light peeking through your tent, smell of pine needles and smoke lingering in air. Hands fumble for boots, cold from the night as you slip them on. Remember stories told about World War II, how instances of death were reduced. They reorganised surgical services, made changes so fewer soldiers lost their limbs or worse. It's different now, but you can feel weight all the same. Stand, grab helmet, step outside. Sun barely breaks horizon, casting long shadows over makeshift camp. Breath fogs in chilly air as you start small fire to warm hands and prepare breakfast. Day's tasks await, but for now, fire is your only company. Fire crackles softly, warmth slowly spreading through fingers. Find comfort in familiar routine of cooking over open flame. Day ahead promises uncertainty, but here, now, there is control. Bacon sizzles as you flip it with a stick carved from last night's firewood. Nearby stream babbles softly, promising quick wash before day's march. Sharpen knife on whetstone, feeling its edge become honed and ready for any challenge ahead. Pack, heavy with gear, leans against nearby tree. Each item has its place, ready for swift access if needed. Fire's embers glow red, casting eerie light on your shadow as it dances across camp. Take deep breath of crisp morning air, steeling yourself for what lies ahead. As the sun reaches its peak, you find yourself in Normandy, July 1944. The air is thick with tension, the smell of damp earth and distant gunfire lingering. Operation Cobra has begun, and the ground rumbles beneath your feet as tanks roll by. Your hands clutch a small ration bag, the only food for the day. You wonder if this will be enough to sustain you through the chaos that is sure to come. The bag's contents are meagre, a few hardtack biscuits, a small tin of bully beef, and a sugar cube. Each crunch is a battle against hunger, each swallow a grim reminder of the war's toll. The bully beef is tough and chewy, but the salt keeps your thirst at bay. Every swallow is a struggle, as if the very act of eating has become a chore. Your rations are supposed to last all day, so you try to make each bite count. The taste of salt lingers on your lips. The tin feels heavier now, emptiness echoing inside. Each step in the thick mud is an effort, hunger gnawing at you. The rucksack digs into your shoulder, heavy with the weight of ammunition and gear, each step a fight against fatigue. The midday heat is oppressive, sweat pouring down your face, making your clothes cling to your skin. Your hands are calloused from days of hard labour. The rough edges of the ration bag feel familiar. The sun beats down relentlessly, the heat like a physical presence. The sweat stings your eyes, making it hard to see the next step. Your stomach growls in protest, the meagre rations offering little comfort. Your hands, they're calloused now from the work you do, not from any fighting. The resistance needs food, and so do you. You've heard whispers of the Army of Africa, but it's a world away. Here, in this moment, you're gathering what you can find. The midday sun is warm on your back as you scour the countryside. It smells of earth and maybe something sweet from the distant orchards. You've learned to be quick, to not linger. You wonder if anyone in Paris cares about this fight, but it doesn't matter now. There's work to be done, food to gather. Your basket grows heavy with apples and potatoes, the weight a constant reminder of the struggle. The wind picks up, whipping dust into your eyes, but you don't stop, can't stop. A sudden crack echoes in the distance, a warning or an accident. You can't tell, so you keep moving, driven by the simple need to feed those who rely on you. Your boots sink in the mud, each step a struggle. The basket's weight digs into your shoulder, but you can't set it down. A nearby farmhouse is silent, its inhabitants probably hiding too. You spot a rabbit darting between trees. You wish for a gun, any way to bring it down. The basket's wicker creaks under the weight, threatening to give way at any moment. Every step is a test of balance, trying not to spill your precious cargo. The rabbit darts again, taunting you with its swiftness, and you curse under your breath, focusing on the task at hand. You wake to the smell of rationed bacon frying in your small kitchen. The air is thick with smoke and memories of times when food was plentiful. Your hands reach for the tin of tea leaves, measured out carefully yesterday. Britain used to import about 55 million tons of food each year before the war. Now, you're lucky if you get a taste of bacon once a week. You stir the pan, your stomach rumbling at the familiar scent. How will you stretch today's rations? Bread is still available, but the sugar for jam has been rationed too. Butter and cheese are luxuries now. As you sit down to your simple meal, you can hear the hum of conversation from the shelter next door. Your neighbours are sharing stories of the Battle of Britain, their voices filled with both fear and determination. What will tomorrow bring? You take a bite, savouring the taste. For now, this is enough. You pour your tea from a chipped cup, the leaves swirling in the brown liquid. The bacon sizzles on, its fat rendering slowly into the pan. Your eyes scan the room for any missed crumbs, your mind calculating how to make the most of this meal. You dip your bread into the bacon fat, soaking up every last drop. The pan is set aside to cool, its residue scraped onto a cloth and saved for later use. The tea leaves are squeezed between your fingers, releasing their final strength into the cup. The window frames the grey sky, a constant reminder of the world outside. The tin roof rattles softly under the rain's steady beat. A faint whiff of coal smoke lingers from last night's fire, now reduced to ashes in the hearth. You walk into the village store, the bell above the door chiming softly. Your hands reach out to touch the familiar glass jars filled with sugar. But wait, something's different. The labels are worn, and there are fewer jars than you remember. A sign catches your eye: bacon, butter and sugar, rationed since January 1940. You pause, looking around. What does this mean for the coming days? Your mind races as you step out into the chilly air, the scent of wood smoke lingering in the breeze. The storekeeper nods gravely, his breath visible in the dim light. A queue forms outside, voices hushed, glances exchanged. You notice a chalkboard near the door, tallying rations left for the day. You hear the murmurs of worry as villagers whisper about the coming weeks. Bartering and sharing become vital as families huddle together for warmth. A young boy pushes past you, clutching a precious lump of sugar. You watch as he hastily trades it for a handful of freshly picked berries with an older woman. The storekeeper's eyes scan the crowd, ensuring no one takes more than their share. The village's usual hum of gossip is replaced by a tense silence. Each family relies on their own stockpiles and the kindness of neighbours. The storekeeper's watchful gaze ensures no one hoards more than they need. The village clock tower strikes noon, but the bell's toll sounds muted, subdued by the thickening fog of worry. A thin woman in a worn shawl approaches you, eyes darting nervously. "They say the roads are iced over," she whispers, "and no one knows when more supplies will come." You feel the grains of cereal between your fingers, each one a tiny, hardened kernel. Breakfast is simple today, like every day. A spoonful of jam, just enough to sweeten your bread. You wonder if there's more somewhere, but you know better than to ask. Milk, maybe? You take what you can get. The ration card in your pocket, a reminder of what's allowed. Meat, fish, tea, biscuits, cheese, eggs, milk and canned fruit. Each item accounted for, each bite measured. What would it be like to have more? You shake the thought away, focusing on the warmth of the sun overhead as you finish your meal. The bread is coarse, made from a grain that's hard to grind. The jam is thin, stretching out as you spread it. You know the sun will make it runny soon. The sugar in the jam is rare, a luxury from before. You savour each bite, letting it linger on your tongue. Your hands are calloused from work, the rough bread a familiar texture. The bowl is chipped and worn, but it holds your meal just fine. The knife you use to spread the jam is dull from so much use. You know every nick in its blade. The bread's crust is tough, like the soles of your boots after a long day's work. Your tea is weak, the leaves used many times over, yet it still warms your hands. You finish your meal in silence, no one to share with or ask for more. You sit on the damp grass, hands holding a tin plate filled with cold beans and biscuits. The air smells of smoke and the distant hum of bomber engines. You look around, seeing others doing the same, their faces tired but resigned. Behind you, a group from UCLA is setting up a makeshift memorial for the fallen in Torrance, CA. Their voices are low, respectful. You finish your meal, feeling the weight of the day already pressing down on you. What will tomorrow bring? Only time will tell. The sun is high, but its warmth barely reaches you. Your stomach grumbles softly, accepting the food as fuel for another day of uncertainty. The tin plate is set aside half empty as you stand up and brush off your pants, already grimy from the night's work. The wind whips through the camp, carrying the scent of salt from the nearby sea. Your eyes scan the horizon, searching for any sign of movement. The day's rations are scant, yet enough to keep you going. You hear a faint whispering from the tent behind you as others huddle together for warmth and comfort. The tin plate's edges dig into your palm, grounding you in this harsh reality. The beans, once vibrant, now grey and cold, reflect the monotony of each day. Your biscuit crumbles at the slightest touch, a reminder of how fragile everything has become. The tin spoon clatters as you toss it aside, echoing the emptiness of your stomach. The wind shifts, bringing a chill that makes your teeth chatter. Your boots are caked with mud, each step a heavy reminder of the weight you carry. You walk through the city, your hands empty as they search for food. The air is thick with a strange scent, a mix of smoke and hunger. You've heard whispers of rations, but who knows when or if they'll arrive. The stores are bare, the market's silent. You wonder what it would be like to have a full belly again. It's been days since you last ate. The war has seen to that. Food is scarce now for everyone. Civilians and soldiers alike feel the pinch of these shortages. You see others in similar straits, their faces gaunt and eyes hollow. It's a hard truth, this world of scarcity. But you must keep moving, keep hoping. You notice the occasional hint of a vegetable garden behind crumbling walls, hidden from view, but impossible to ignore when the wind shifts. The city's once thriving bakeries now stand silent, their ovens cold and unused. A lone bird pecks at the ground where a scrap of bread lies discarded, a fleeting reminder of what once was. Fires burn in the distance, smoke darkening the sky as people forage for any edible remnant. A child's cry echoes through the streets, a stark reminder of the desperate times. You see a group huddled around a small fire, sharing what little food they have found. The smell of rotting fruit clings to every corner. People barter for a single egg with whatever they can spare. The city's once reliable water source now sputters and coughs, leaving everyone thirsty. The once bustling market now holds only the stench of decaying produce. Each step echoes a silent plea for sustenance. Your stomach growls in protest as you pass empty storefronts, their shelves stripped bare. Your lunch is a simple affair, a reminder of the times. Rationing has become a part of daily life now, with food in short supply. You sit down to a meal of bread and butter, maybe a little jam if you're lucky. Your hands feel the coarse texture of the dark loaf, the smooth coolness of the butter as it spreads. The aroma of fresh bread fills the small room, comforting despite its simplicity. You ask yourself, what would a luxurious meal be like now? But the answer is lost in the hum of everyday life. The knife is worn smooth from years of use. The window frames the distant clangor of a blacksmith's hammer. The breadcrumbs fall unnoticed onto your lap, swept away by habit. The butter is a pale yellow, not as rich as it once was. It's rationed now, like everything else. The jam jar sits on the table, half empty, waiting for tomorrow. You eat slowly, savoring each bite. The bread is a bit stale, but still satisfying. The butter spreads unevenly, leaving bits of bread exposed. The jam pot bears a faded stamp, a relic from the war effort. You notice the small, hard lumps in the bread that were never there before. The butter dish bears a thin film of grease from countless uses. Your fingers leave tiny dents in the bread as you tear off a piece. The crust is harder now, the flour not as fine. The oven fires are low, conserving fuel. You taste the faint smokiness in each bite. You find yourself in the kitchen, a humble place with worn counters and a table that's seen better days. Your hands are dusty from digging in the garden earlier, but you don't mind. There's work to be done. You open the pantry door, its hinges creaking softly. Inside, there's not much, just enough for the week. Each person gets a ration of flour, sugar, maybe some dried beans if they're lucky. 2 pounds of potatoes, perhaps a bit of cheese if you can find it. It's enough to get by, but not enough to feel full. You take out what you need, your fingers brushing against the rough burlap sacks. The air is filled with the faint scent of earth and dried goods. It's simple, this midday world. But in these small portions, there's a sense of shared struggle, a silent understanding that binds everyone together. What will you make today? Maybe a soup, something warm to chase away the chill. The day stretches out before you, quiet and steady, like the rhythm of your own heartbeat. The day stretches out before you, quiet and steady, like the rhythm of your own heartbeat. The sun filters through the window, casting a golden glow on the well-worn table. A worn pot sits nearby, ready to be filled with water from the pump outside. It's a familiar dance, this daily ritual, each step measured and precise. The flour is coarse, ground by hand in the mill down the hill. The sugar is dark, almost molasses-like. You check the pumpkin seeds you saved from last autumn, wondering if they'll sprout this spring. You find yourself in the heart of Germany, at Ramstein Air Base. It's a place that hums with activity, controlled from this very spot, our drones, high above, surveying far and wide. Inside the base, weapons of war are stockpiled, ready for whatever may come. Your hands brush against the cold metal of a crate, feeling its weight. The air here is filled with a scent of oil and machinery. How many lives have been touched by the decisions made within these walls? You can't help but wonder as you walk among the towering hangars. The hangar doors slide open with a deafening screech, revealing the darkness within. A constant hum fills the air as the drones overhead prepare for launch. Each metal crate is marked with careful precision, ensuring their contents are accounted for and ready to deploy at a moment's notice. The floor beneath you vibrates with the distant rumble of engines warming up, their drone echoing through cavernous tunnels. The air grows colder as a draft sweeps past, carrying a hint of smoke and jet fuel. A nearby technician adjusts dials on a console, eyes fixed on screens displaying real-time feeds from the drones. The faint smell of ozone permeates the air as the drone's cameras capture images of distant lands. A technician's fingers dance over keys, sending encrypted commands to their mechanical eyes in the sky. The base's lights flicker briefly, a subtle reminder of the immense power required to keep this operation running. The technician's hands never still, constantly tweaking controls to maintain the drone's altitude amidst unpredictable wind patterns. Above you, a sudden burst of static from a nearby radio interrupts the hum, a brief flash of chaos in this controlled environment. The base's power grid hums steadily, a living entity that keeps all systems operational, its pulse felt through the vibrating floor. In the sultry air of July 1943, you stand on the shores of Sicily. The sea glistens under the sun, reflecting the distant rumble of Operation Husky. Your hands grip the railing as you watch the vessels approach, their decks crowded with soldiers. A sense of inevitability hangs in the air, like the salt spray that mists your face. What will these men bring to this land? And what will Sicily become under their command? The wind carries the tang of distant battle. Waves slap against the hulls, echoing the soldiers' restless anticipation. Gulls cry out overhead as if mourning what's to come. The heat of the day bears down on you like a physical weight. Sand crunches underfoot as you shift position. The scent of oleander wafts from nearby shrubs, briefly masking the acrid smell of gunpowder in the distance. A faint breeze offers no respite from the heat. Palms sway gently, casting shifting shadows across the beach. The distant thunder of artillery rumbles like an ominous heartbeat. The sun beats down relentlessly, its rays shimmering on the soldiers' helmets. Cicadas hum in the background, their chorus drowned out by the constant drone of planes overhead. The beach is a symphony of sounds and smells, all hinting at the tumultuous change that lies ahead. Your boots sink slightly into the hot sand with each step. The salt from the sea clings to your skin, mixing with sweat and grime. A thin layer of dust coats everything, a constant reminder of the arid climate. You're in Sheringham, a town like many others. Your hands clutch the fabric of your coat, pulling it tighter around you as the air grows colder. Above, the sky is filled with an unwelcome sight. Planes, not just one or two, but a swarm. You hear their engines, a distant rumble that grows louder, more insistent. The Battle of Britain is raging overhead, and Sheringham is not safe from its reach. 14 souls will lose their lives today, casualties of the air raids that shake the town to its core. Air raid shelters in London offer some protection to civilians there, but here, in this small coastal town, you're exposed. You wonder what you would do if a bomb were to fall nearby. Would you run? Would you run? Hide? There's no time to answer as the first bombs begin to drop, their explosions echoing through the streets. The world shakes around you, and you can only hope that today is not your day. Shards of glass tinkle down like rain, stinging your face. The smell of cordite chokes the air, making you cough. You can't see much through the thick smoke, but you know you must keep moving. The houses shudder around you, their foundations rattled by the relentless blasts. Panic sets in as you hear screams, cries for help, and the distant wail of sirens. Your feet slip on the rubble, sending you sprawling. The air is thick with dust and fear. You can't tell if that's a building or a bomb crater in the distance. You hear the distant rumble, feel the vibrations under your feet. German battleships and submarines, they're out there in the sea, disruptors of trade. Merchant vessels, British ships carrying food, they don't stand a chance. You see them on the horizon, sleek and dangerous, sinking one by one. Your hands grip the railing tighter, the salt air filling your lungs. The German government means business. Each ship lost is a blow to the food trade. What will it take to stop them? The sea churns with smoke and fire. The U-boats strike swiftly, silently, their torpedoes leaving deadly wakes. Each merchant ship goes down swiftly, crew scrambling, lifeboats tossed into chaos. The coast remains silent, witness to the carnage. The night sky lights up with the bursts of anti-aircraft fire echoing off the cold water. The scent of oil and smoke fills your nostrils as you watch from the shore. The U-boat silhouettes barely visible in the darkness, their deadly efficiency unmatched. The air raid sirens wail incessantly, a chilling symphony of warning. The searchlights sweep the night sky, desperate to pinpoint their targets. Each torpedo leaves a trail of bubbles that betray its path. You feel the deck beneath your feet sway with each wave, the sea's vastness overwhelming. The ship's lights go out to avoid detection, leaving only the dim glow of cigarettes. You hear the desperate cries for help, echoing off the cliffs, unanswered. Your stomach churns with each explosion, the smoke stinging your eyes. You strain to hear any sign of survivors over the roar of waves crashing against the rocks. Each blast brings a new wave of fear, pushing you closer to the safety of the cliffs. You wake to the muffled sound of footsteps, a faint hum outside your window. Your hands, rough from the work they've done, reach for the day's rations card. It's tattered now, edges worn thin. You remember when this was new, fresh in your pocket, promising enough meat for the week. But these days, things are different. Your fingers trace the faded numbers, a reminder of what you need and what you can get. You dress quickly, the air already cool in your room. Downstairs, the shopkeeper nods at you, his eyes scanning your card. He knows the rules just as well as you do. Meat without coupons is against the law now. There's a new face in town, asking questions, testing boundaries. Isabella, they call her. She visits the butchers, tries to buy meat without the proper cards. 3 in Stepney were caught out last week, fined for breaking the rules. The smell of fresh bread fills your senses as you walk past the bakery. It's comforting, familiar, but the thought of Isabella lingers, a reminder that even in the quiet moments there are eyes watching, rules to be followed. The butcher's blade gleams under the harsh light, a stark contrast to the grey rations you carry. A shadow crosses your path as you pass the alley, a whisper of resistance echoing through the air. The city's watchful eyes seem to follow your every move, the crunch of gravel beneath your feet, the only sound in this silent dance of compliance. You wake up in your modest home, the air filled with the faint smell of last night's dinner lingering. Your hands touch the rough fabric of your ration book as you thumb through the pages, noting the point system that ensures everyone has equal access to goods. A Gallup poll shows over 60% of people here are in favour of this rationing system. You ask yourself, why? The answer is simple. It keeps things fair, doesn't it? The ration book is your lifeline, listing what you can buy each month. You stand in line at the grocery, everyone takes their turn. A neighbour nods, understanding shared. You glance at the clock on the wall, its hands moving slowly. The line in front of you inches forward, one step at a time. Your coupons are almost gone, but there's still enough to get by until next month. The shelves are nearly bare, but you've learned to plan meals around what's left. The grocer smiles, acknowledging your patience. Your neighbour whispers, "Tomorrow we get fresh bread." The queue stretches around the corner, yet no one grumbles. You've learned to carry an extra coat for chilly waits. The grocer's wife keeps a pot of tea warm on the stove, offered freely. She knows everyone by name. The line moves steadily, no shoving or rush. You help your neighbour with his bag, knowing he'll do the same for you. Your stomach rumbles softly, but you've learned to ignore it. The grocer's son sweeps the floor, keeping the queue moving smoothly. You hear the drone of aircraft overhead, a constant reminder that danger could strike at any moment. It's July 1940, and Britain is in the midst of the Battle of Britain. The air raids target civilian areas, reducing homes to rubble. In response, officials employ undercover agents known as agents provocateurs to enforce rationing rules. You witness these agents in action, their eyes scanning the crowd for any sign of rule breaking. The scent of burned wood and smoke lingers in the air, a stark reminder of the destruction that has already taken place. Would you dare to disobey the rationing laws? No, you wouldn't want to risk drawing the attention of these agents, not with your life at stake. The queue for rations grows longer each day, yet food is scarce. People huddle in bomb shelters, listening to the distant boom of explosions. Some whisper that this war might never end. The blackout curtains never let a sliver of light through, only darkness. Bread rations dwindle, now barely enough to fill a child's stomach. The shelters grow colder as winter approaches. You see children, pale and shivering, clutching their empty cups. The blackout curtains muffle the sounds of daily life. The cold is a constant companion, seeping into every corner of your shelter. The faint glow of a gas mask box on the table barely illuminates the shelter. A tin of powdered eggs sits unopened, its promise of sustenance untouched. The ticking clock counts out seconds, marking the endless wait. The distant hum of engines grows louder, signalling another wave of attacks. A faint glow from a gas mask box on the table barely illuminates the shelter. The scent of damp and mildew permeates the air, a constant reminder of the harsh conditions. You stand in the dim hangar, the air thick with the smell of oil and metal. Your hands reach up to your head, feeling for the helmet you know is there. It's standard issue, as are the goggles hanging from it. You pull them down over your eyes, the straps snug against the back of your neck. The coveralls hang loose on your frame, but they're necessary, aren't they? They protect your skin from the cold air at altitude. Your fingers trace the zipper, running from your throat to your belly. You take a deep breath, inhaling the scent of your own sweat mixed with the machine oil. It's the smell of readiness, the smell of another day in this war. The zipper's teeth catch on the rough fabric of your undershirt. You can hear the faint hum of machinery starting up outside. The hangar door groans open, letting in a gust of cold air that bites at your cheeks. The hangar's single light bulb casts long, dancing shadows on the wall. The wind carries the distant, muffled sound of artillery. You step closer to the machine, your boots echoing on the cold concrete floor. The machine's engine rumbles to life, a symphony of pistons and cylinders. The propeller begins to turn, slicing through the air with a low whine. Your heart races in time with the machinery, ready for the ascent ahead. The wind from the propeller whips your hair into a frenzy. The engine's vibrations resonate through your body, a palpable reminder of its power. You grip the control yoke tighter, feeling the cold metal against your gloved hands. Your hands grip the cold metal, a dagger tucked into your belt for protection. You feel its weight against your side as you move, always ready. Your bayonet is secured in its sheath, waiting to be attached to your rifle if needed. Knives are scattered around your camp, each one sharp and waiting for a task. It's just another day in the wider world, surrounded by weapons that could mean survival or danger at any moment. The scent of oil and metal lingers in the air from your recent sharpening session. A soft breeze whispers through the tent flaps, carrying the distant echoes of unknown voices. Your fingers instinctively trace the worn grip of the dagger, a habit born from years of vigilance. The fire in the pit crackles, casting eerie shadows on the tent's walls. The embers glow like dying eyes in the darkness. A solitary candle flickers on a nearby crate, its wax dripping down the side. The rain outside patters against the tent canvas like whispered secrets. The scent of smoke clings to your clothes from the fire's constant glow. A faint glow from the candle illuminates a worn map sprawled across a crate, each crease telling tales of past adventures and misfortunes. The wind whips the tent flaps open momentarily, revealing a glimpse of the stormy night sky. The scent of ozone lingers as lightning briefly illuminates the landscape. A sudden gust blows embers from the fire onto the map, scorching the edges and threatening to consume more. You wake, the sun barely peeking over the horizon. The air is crisp and cool, a hint of wood smoke lingering from last night's fire. Your hands move to your sides, feeling for the straps, belts and suspenders that are essential to your day. These aren't just pieces of clothing, they're equipment meant to carry your gear. You can feel the weight of your pack already, a constant companion as you begin your journey through this world. What will today hold? Only time will tell. The forest floor crunches underfoot as you step outside your tent. A faint glow from the embers still flickers in the fire pit, offering a final warmth before the day's chill sets in. Your boots, worn but sturdy, grip the uneven terrain with familiar ease. Your breath fogs up in the air as you exhale, the mist dissipating quickly in the chill. The canteen at your side sloshes gently with each step, reminding you of the day's water supply. Your hand brushes against a tree trunk, the bark rough and familiar, as if it were an old friend greeting you on this journey. The dew clings to your pants as you brush past the undergrowth. The first light catches the spider webs, making them glisten like tiny jewels. A faint breeze carries a hint of pine needles and damp earth. The leaves crunch beneath your feet, signaling the start of another day. You pause for a moment, listening to the distant hoots of an owl, its call echoing through the trees. A small deer bounds away from you, startled by your presence as you take your first steps into the wilderness. You wake to the hum of a radio, its static crackling in your ears as you reach out to tune it. Your fingers dance over the knobs and dials, adjusting until a voice fills the air, clear and urgent. You grab your headphones, feeling their worn leather against your skin, and slip them on. The world outside grows distant as you listen, the microphone nearby waiting for your report. A telephone sits heavy in your pocket, its weight a constant reminder of those who need to know what's happening. It rings suddenly, its shrill sound cutting through the radio static. You answer it quickly, the cold metal against your cheek as you speak into the microphone, your voice echoing through the line. The receiver's glow casts long shadows on the wall, dancing with each voice it transmits. The line is scratchy, distant, but clear enough for you to hear the panic in their breath. You tap a pencil on the table, a rhythm only you know as the radio's hum fades into the background. The receiver's glow flickers, casting a wavering light on the faded map tacked to the wall behind it. The pencil's tip snaps with a quiet pop as you press too hard, leaving smudged lines that barely show in the dim room. The radio hisses softly between transmissions, a reminder of the unseen world beyond your huddled figure. You scribble notes on a yellowed sheet, the pencil's lead crumbling as you press harder. The receiver's cord is frayed and tangled, stretching taut as you lean in to hear better. A cup of cold coffee sits untouched nearby, its rim chipped and stained. Your hands run over the rough edges of your uniform, feeling for the patches and pins that signify your rank and service. You see a familiar patch sewn onto your sleeve. It's the insignia of your unit, a small symbol of pride and belonging in this vast world of conflict. Each pin, each medal is not just decoration. They are badges of honor, marking your journey through the war. You wonder how many other soldiers have worn these same patches, carried these medals with them into battle. They tell a story, each one a tiny piece of history etched onto cloth and metal. But for now, you simply touch them, tracing their shapes in the quiet of the moment. The cloth beneath your fingers feels coarse from countless washings in field conditions. The metal of the pins is worn smooth by countless hands before yours. Each night, you check them one by one, ensuring none have been lost or damaged in the day's fight. The metal captures the light from your lamp, casting a faint glow on the fabric. You can feel the weight of each one, grounding you to the reality of where you are. The threads holding the patches in place are frayed, hinting at their age and countless repairs. The uniform's collar feels stiff from dried sweat, a constant reminder of the day's heat and tension. The smell of smoke lingers, clinging to the fabric like a ghost from the battlefield. Each night, you brush off tiny bits of grit, remnants of the harsh terrain you've traversed. You sit in the dim light, a brush in your hand. It's a simple tool, but it holds power today. You're not painting a picture, you're blending into the landscape. Camouflage paints are spread out before you, earth tones, greens, browns. Your hands mix them, smooth them onto your helmet, your uniform. It's not art, but precision. Each stroke counts. You step back, looking at your reflection in a broken piece of mirror. Gone is the bright cloth of yesterday's uniform. Now you're part of the terrain, ready to move unseen. The air smells of damp earth and paint fumes. It's not pleasant, but it's the smell of survival today. You ask yourself, will this be enough? Yes, it must be. You step out into the world, your footsteps silent, your breath steady. The wider world is waiting, and you're ready to blend in. You feel the weight of your pack settle on your back, the straps fitting snugly against your now brown shoulders. The first light raindrops fall, tiny dots on the paint still drying. You know this will hold you safe until nightfall. Your fingers move with practiced ease, each brushstroke measured. The paint dries quickly in the cool air, forming a matte finish that won't glint in sunlight. Your heart beats steadily as you adjust your helmet, securing it tightly to prevent any telltale sounds of shifting. The paint is thick, almost gritty under your fingertips. You rub it in gently, avoiding any harsh lines that might catch the eye. This is a skill learned through practice from others who've been here before. The rain starts to fall harder now, small rivers run down your face and neck, but you don't wipe them away. It helps blend the colours together, creates a natural look. You take one last glance in the mirror, satisfied with your work. Then, you slip into the shadows, disappearing into the wider world. You wake to the distant rumble, a constant reminder of the world outside your bunker. Your hands reach for the kit bag beside you, fingers brushing against cold metal. You pull out a small sign, etched with stark warnings in bold letters. "Mines is," it reads, accompanied by a stark symbol that needs no translation. This is the reality now. Every step, every movement is calculated. You look around, your eyes scanning the dimly lit space, taking in the rows of bunks, each one identical to yours. You are not alone in this vigilance. Each soldier here carries their own sign, a silent guardian against the unseen dangers that lurk just beyond reach. How many times have you been handed these signs, their weight growing heavier with each exchange? Yet, there is no room for complacency. You know the rules, follow the paths, stick to the marked routes. The world outside may be vast and treacherous, but within these walls, amidst the quiet hum of your companions' breaths, there is a sense of order, of control. And so, you tuck the sign back into your bag, its sharp edges pressing against your fingertips as a reminder of what lies ahead. The paths are narrow, barely wide enough for a single person to pass through. The markers are faded, but still visible, guiding you through the shadows. A slight misstep could be fatal. Every soldier knows this truth. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. Each path leads to another, a labyrinth of survival designed by those who came before you. A faint glow from a distant torch signals that others are nearby, their presence a comfort in the shrouded world. You wake, the air cool and damp, just as it was yesterday. Your hands reach out, touching the familiar map you've been studying. It's not just for directions now, but for understanding. The book beside it is worn, pages marked with notes. You take a deep breath, smelling the faint scent of ink on paper. Posters line the walls around you, reminders of what's needed, what's expected. They're part of your equipment now, these maps, books, and posters. They guide your days, shape your understanding of the wider world. You roll out of your cot, feet hitting the cold floorboards. The map's edges are frayed from constant use. The poster's corners curl with age and humidity. The ink on the map has started to run in places, making some details hard to read. The posters, once bright, now bear a patina of dust and time. Each crease, each stain, tells a story of where you've been, what you've seen. The compass, tucked into the map's corner, spins slowly, its needle settling on north. The book's spine creaks as it opens to a marked page. Notes scrawled in margins reveal names of places once unknown, now familiar. The candle nearby flickers, casting long shadows that dance on the walls. A small wooden stool sits beside the cot, its legs worn smooth from countless sittings. The window above your bed frames a sliver of dawn light slowly growing brighter. The cot creaks as you stand, its thin mattress offering little comfort from the hard floor. Your boots wait at the end of the bed, their leather dulled by the damp air. The room's chill seeps into your bones, a constant reminder of the world outside. You wake in the grey light of a winter morning, Britain at war. You button your coat, tucking it around you as you step outside. Your hands find the gas mask hanging by your door, its leather strap rough against your fingers. The Battle of Britain rages overhead, the sound of planes echoing through the streets. It's January 8th, 1940 today. The day rationing begins. You swing the gas mask over your shoulder, feeling its weight as you walk out into the chilled air. The fear of bombing hangs heavy in the city, a constant companion now. You can smell it, like smoke lingering on the wind. Sirens wail in the distance, their warning familiar but still unnerving. Shadows of bombers cast fleeting silhouettes on the frost-covered ground. Neighbours huddle together, sharing whispered words of comfort and uncertainty. Your breath fogs in the cold air as you hurry towards the shelter. The city's once bustling streets now echo with a strange, hushed stillness. Sandbags line the windows of buildings, adding an eerie, fortress-like quality to the familiar landscape. The scent of coal smoke fills the air, a mix of warmth and danger. A curtain twitches in an upstairs window, a sign of life amidst the stillness. Shrapnel scars the pavement, stark reminders of recent attacks. The sound of distant explosions mingles with the usual morning clatter of pots and pans being cleaned. The milkman's horse-drawn cart trudges through, its bells a somber echo of peacetime routine. A queue forms at the ration shop, the silence punctuated by hushed whispers and the rustle of scuffed shoes on icy cobblestones. You're on the edge of the desert, not far from the Mediterranean coast. The sun is relentless, and the sand stretches out in every direction. Your hands are gripping a rifle, fingers slick with sweat. You've been marching for what feels like days now, but you can't stop. Not yet. You're part of something bigger here, the 2nd New Zealand Division. You hear the clanking of tanks in the distance, British tanks. They need a way through, and that's where you come in. The sands are shifting under your feet as you advance, each step a struggle. But this is what you've been trained for. This is why you're here. And even though it feels like an eternity, you know the breakthrough at El Alamein is just within reach. So, you keep moving forward, one steady step at a time. The dust clouds your vision, each breath a chore. The tank commanders shout orders you can't hear over the roar of engines. Your unit presses on, unyielding as the heat. The sweat stings your eyes, but you wipe it away with a grimy sleeve. Each footprint fills in behind you, erasing your path. Your boots sink slightly with each step, and you can feel the heat radiating up from the sand. The sand kicks up under your feet, each step a fight against the shifting ground. The metal of your rifle grows hot in the sun, searing your hands when you adjust your grip, Your lips are parched, tasting the grit as you lick them for moisture. You hear the distant rumble of artillery, a constant reminder that war is never far away. The air carries a faint smell of smoke and the acrid tang of gunpowder. You know that beyond the sandy dunes, Axis forces are being pushed back after their failure at El Alamein. Their retreat echoes through the dry heat, leaving behind a trail of discarded equipment and abandoned vehicles. What was once their territory is now crisscrossed with Allied supply lines, the steady hum of progress, a stark contrast to their hasty withdrawal. You see the faint glow of fires on the horizon, casting long shadows across the desert landscape. The occasional burst of machine gun fire punctuates the night, a grim reminder of the ongoing struggle. The supply trucks rumble past, kicking up clouds of dust that settle like a fine grit over everything. A few stray dogs, scavengers of war, dart between the trucks, their eyes wild and reflective in the headlights. The wind picks up, whipping sand into your face, stinging like tiny shards of glass. A lone sentry, barely visible against the dunes, keeps watch, rifle at the ready. The cold night air bites at your exposed skin as you huddle in your blanket, the weight of your rifle, a comforting presence. The stars above seem to mock the chaos below, their twinkling light offering no warmth. The wind howls, an eerie symphony that drowns out the distant cries of the wounded, adding to the surreal atmosphere. Your teeth chatter against the desert chill, each breath a visible puff of mist. The sand beneath you shifts with every rustle of wind, threatening to swallow you whole. In the distance, a searchlight sweeps the sky, its beam like a knife slicing through the darkness. You're finally back at your tent, the night air cool and crisp around you. Your hands, calloused from a day of hard work, fumble with the buttons on your M41 uniform. It's been a long day, hasn't it? You can feel the fabric rough against your skin as you slide out of the jacket. The M37 shirt underneath is damp with sweat, but you don't bother changing now. Sleep is all that matters at this point. You lie down on your cot, the thin blanket providing little warmth. But who needs comfort when sleep is just a whisper away? Your eyes grow heavy as the night settles in. The world around you fades to silence. The cot's thin metal frame creaks softly as you shift, trying to find a comfortable spot. Your boots, heavy with mud from the day's march, remain on your feet, too tired to remove them now. The tent's canvas flaps gently in the breeze, casting faint shadows on the walls. The day's work echoes through your muscles, a dull ache that keeps you grounded. You let out a soft sigh, feeling the tension in your shoulders slowly ebb away. Your breath starts to slow, matching the rhythm of the canvas flaps dance with the wind. A distant owl hoots, but is too far to keep you awake. The fire outside your tent flickers, casting a warm glow through the fabric, a last goodbye before drifting off. The tent's poles groan under the wind's steady pressure. A moth flutters against the lantern's glass, drawn to the fading light. Your hand, heavy with fatigue, brushes a stray lock of hair from your face. You sit by the tiny table in your tent, a small bar of soap and a worn toothbrush lying beside you. You reach for the shaving cream, the tin cold to the touch. Your hands work quickly, smearing the thick cream onto your face. The air is damp and chilly, but you're grateful for the simple rituals that keep you feeling human amidst the chaos. A deep breath in, and you begin to cleanse, the scent of peppermint filling the small space. You wonder how many men have done this same routine tonight, scattered across the world. And then, with a final swipe of your razor, it's time for sleep. The razor's edge catches on a day's worth of stubble. You wince, but it's a familiar pain. The water in your canteen is cold and refreshing as you rinse off the last bits of cream. The tent flap blows open, letting in a gust of night air that carries the distant sound of owls hooting. You blow out the candle, the tent growing dark except for the faint glow of your watch. The cot creaks as you sit down, the blankets rough and comforting. You listen to the rain patter against the canvas, each drop a drumbeat lulling you towards sleep. The rain finds every seam in the tent, a steady drum roll that drowns out distant camp noises. The blankets are thin, but the warmth of your breath builds beneath them. The cot sags slightly under your weight, the night's chill seeping through. You lie down on your cot, the HBT fabric of your uniform rustling softly under you. The tanker suit you wore earlier, the one designed for comfort and warmth in the cold nights, hangs neatly over a nearby chair. You take a deep breath, feeling the weight of the day leave your shoulders. The air is cool and damp, but it's a familiar comfort that helps you drift off to sleep. What will tomorrow bring? Only time will tell. The metal bars of the cot creak slightly as you shift position, finding just the right spot. The steady hum of the base's generator provides a soothing background rhythm. A small night light casts long shadows across the room, hinting at shapes familiar from countless nights before. The blanket's rough wool scratches gently at your back, a comforting contrast to the smooth cot. The faint scent of pine from the floorboards mixes with the faint odor of machine oil, both soothing and reassuring. A distant door slams shut, muffled but not enough to break your concentration. The cot's metal springs groan softly as you settle in, the mattress offering a firm support that feels both familiar and welcome after a long day. The room's air is slightly stale, carrying the subtle scent of old books from the shelf nearby, adding to the sense of tranquility. The cot's canvas webbing leaves a slight impression on your cheek as you turn to face the wall. The gentle ticking of an old clock echoes through the quiet, each second marking another step closer to sleep. The faint glow of the nightlight reflects off the polished surface of a nearby medal, its glint a comforting reminder of past accomplishments. You climb into your bunk, the thin mattress creaking beneath you. Your hands pat down the items in your pockets. There's your watch, ticking steadily. Your wallet, worn at the edges from years of use. And your ID tags, dangling on a chain, the metal cool against your skin. You take a deep breath, the smell of damp wool and faint smoke from earlier in the day filling your nostrils. Is this everything? You ask yourself, already feeling the weight of sleep tugging at your eyelids. Your hand reaches out, patting down the nightstand, just to be sure. Yes, it's all here. Good night. The bunk above creaks too, its occupant already asleep, one arm hanging down, almost touching your face. The small window lets in a sliver of moonlight, casting long shadows on the wall. The silence is thick, broken only by the distant hum of machinery and the occasional snore. The bunks are narrow, designed for efficiency, not comfort. The sheets are rough and worn, but clean. Your eyes close before you're ready, the rhythm of the machinery outside lulling you into sleep. The thin blanket is scratchy against your skin, a constant reminder of the cold night air outside. The cot's metal frame digs into your back, a small price to pay for the stability it offers on uneven ground. A soft breeze blows in through the window, carrying with it the faintest hint of pine from the nearby forest. The faint light of the moon casts dancing shadows on the worn metal of your cot, a constant reminder of the world outside your tiny sanctuary. You can hear the soft rustle of pages as someone in a nearby bunk reads late into the night, their thoughts and dreams intertwined with yours. And that is where we leave this day. World War II gone quiet at last, centuries away from here. The day will still be waiting whenever you return to it. Sleep well. If you are still awake and you would like to keep drifting through history, there will be another quiet video waiting for you on the screen when this one ends. And if these slow evenings help you rest, you might like to subscribe or leave a soft comment or share the video with someone who could use a gentler night. There is no hurry and nothing you have to do. For now, you can let all of it go. You do not need to hold on to any of the names or the places or the numbers. None of it will be waiting for you in the morning. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breathing slow down and settle into its own quiet rhythm. Sleep well and good night.